Okay, so let's talk limitations of the Nigerian passport. I mean, it's easy for anybody who doesn't know you to assume that you have a British passport or an American passport or one of the passports of the Caribbean islands. You're telling me that you're doing all of this on the green Nigerian passport? Really?
Definitely. I mean, I was invited for I was invited for a for a tourism conference in Turkey. When was that? That was end of January. I was denied. And guess what they denied?
What?
And guess what it was for? They said my application was not positively reviewed, and that's why they denied it. So we get visa denial, and sometimes it's probably because we're stereotyped. So you go, even sometimes when you get the visa and you go to the immigration officer, you drop once they just say passport please, you drop your passport. They say, oh, green. There's this look on the face like, what are you doing? I mean, I made a video that went quite viral about how I was treated in Mauritius. Mauritius is visa free for Nigerians, but let me tell you, I don't know if you're a Nigerian, you want to go to Mauritius, please just make sure you do all your paperwork, because they are looking for the slightest opportunity to send you back home. As a Nigerian, you must stay in a 5-star resort. It's visa free, no problem, you can come. But you must stay in a 5-star resort. You must have minimum of $150 times the numbers of days you want to spend in that country. So if you want to do 1 week, you must have $150 times 7 days. That's excluding of, you must sort out your hotel and feeding and every other thing. That's number 2. And then you are given 14 days to spend in the country. For me, I wanted to do like a travel video. Because I'm making a travel video, I'm not a tourist. I'm there to make videos. I need more time. You gotta give me 14 days. Say 14 days, do whatever you want to do and leave, right? But then I met these European counterparts. I met them at my hotel. Okay, before I say that. So they made me stay in a 5-star resort that I did not need to stay. So I had a very fancy room that I was not spending time. I paid $1,500 for 3 nights. I was still in a fancy room. I enjoyed no amenities. I just wake up in the morning, carry my camera, and I'm out, right? So I met these European guys. Oh, they were like, yo, you're from Africa, what do you do? I was like, yeah. I now asked them, like, how many days are you guys in the country? And guess what their reply was? They were like, they don't know when they are leaving. An African person cannot say that. Even as a Nigerian, you cannot. So they will give them as high as 60 days. Sorry, they give them as high as 90 days. And if you want to exceed your 90 days, all you just have to do is send their home office an email, say, I want to extend my stay. Please, they'll process it for you same day. But as a Nigerian, I'm sorry. So I was like, how do you mean like you guys don't know where you're living? I'm like, they only gave me 14 days and I'm out of here in 5, So it's like we still get even actually Wodemaya is actually in town right now. He's staying just beside me. From this interview now, we're going somewhere. As big as he is, he was traveling through the Caribbean. He still had issues. Like, for example, he was telling me of how he had problems getting into Panama. And funny how he has the American visa in his passport. He has the Canadian visa in his passport, all active. But still they said, you cannot come into the country, so it's very challenging. But the thing is, as a creator, as a traveler, as somebody doing great work, it gets easier at some point. Most people will recognize you. But at the end of the day, that whole green passport is still, and the government, I don't know how strong our foreign affairs is, but you see, what makes Mauritius and Seychelles passport the strongest in Africa that can allow you to travel more than 140 countries visa-free is because their government is constantly negotiating visa waivers with superior countries, with the European government, with the Chinese government, And the last time I was there, I've not followed up on that news. Mauritius was having negotiation with America to take away visa waivers for Seychelles citizens. You see, but they have that advantage because Seychelles is a travel destination. Americans want to go to Seychelles to vacay, while Seychelles want to go to America. It's not the case for Nigeria. How many Americans want? The few Americans you see here, they are business people, or they are Nigerians that had moved to America and they are citizens and they are only coming back home. So Nigeria is not a tourist destination. We can't even have that conversation. So past the visa limitation is still there. So that's why you're going to have some of my colleagues put up $150,000 to go buy. I cannot spend that kind of money. I don't even have that kind of money to go and buy a passport. But recently I was exploring like other routes that I can follow that can at least give me a PR in a very strong country that would then eventually turn to a passport where I can now access more countries, but I don't want to live outside Africa. These countries, Africa is still blessed. There's still a lot of things you can do. But, one last example before I end this. So there's a lady, she's European, and she messaged me, "Hey, Steven, I want to travel from Cairo to Cape Town. We're doing that on a van. Do you want to come and join us on the trip?" I was like, Cairo to Cape Town. I calculated how many countries we're going to pass through. I was like, I'm sorry, but I guess you don't know this. For me to join you are a foreigner in this continent, but me, I'm living in the continent. You would pass through Cairo, pass through 7-8 countries to get to South Africa without needing a visa. But for me, as a Nigerian, I need over 6-7 visas. She was like, "What? How do you mean? You're in Africa. This is Africa." I was like, you would do it, but me, I can't do it. So you see the problem now. So I think what Imaya was telling me, one of his visions, he wants to do the Cairo to Cape Town trip, and he wants to promote the campaign Borderless Africa. I don't know how strong our African Union is, but it's still a problem. It's a limitation. It only gets slightly easy. Doesn't mean I will not get visa denials. I'm getting visa denials not because of me. It's because of my country people that have done damage with the passport that I am holding. That's why I will get a visa denial, right? But maybe in the future, we do this interview again. I'll tell you now. I have $150,000. I want to go buy. I want to go buy a passport.
Okay, so look, this particular subject is very, very interesting.
Yeah.
First of all, what is clear from what you have said is, as challenging as the Nigerian passport is, it seems people just have problems. It seems there's some bit of stereotyping going on, not only with Nigerians, but with maybe West Africans or even black people, because Wodemaya, whom you mentioned, is not Nigerian. And even he has challenges. He's Ghanaian, as far as I know.
Yeah.
And so even he has challenges because he carries a Ghanaian passport.
Yeah.
So you're not, before we completely kill the Nigerian passport, even other West Africans have issues. It might not be as much as our issues.
Nigeria is even better. I was speaking to someone from Somalia. Somalia is bad. See, Nigeria. The problem is why Nigerians always make the news is our population first, and we are very loud people. We know how to cast situations. There are people from Somalia that it's bad for them. It's so bad. You'll be seeing their country, only 20 countries that they can go without needing a visa. So yeah, it's just that we have bad PR. Nigeria has bad PR.
Okay, moving on from that, how do you decide where to go, Stephen, at this point where you've been to? Look, before I even go beyond that, when you were speaking of the visa thing, as soon as you said you were denied a visa from going to, was it Turkey? You said
Turkey, yeah.
Yes, I said what? I interjected, I exclaimed as a Nigerian, the legend that we have, the axiom we have, the mindset that we have, the stories that are told us is that the more places you've been to, the more visas you have in your passport, the easier it will be for you to get visas to other countries. In fact, I know people that before they go to the American embassy, they go to Dubai, they go to China first, so that the Americans can see that they've already traveled. So you're saying that even with all these visas in your passport, the Turkish consulate still denied you?
Yeah, they're going to deny you. However, that's a very good strategy. As a Nigerian, it's advisable for you to start with your immediate environment. Go to Kenya, go to Ghana, go to South Africa, travel, because all of these consulate, they just want to see that you have traveled. And because a lot of people would go and get an American B1, B2 visa then they will lie to the consulate that they are going for a conference. However, they go for that conference and they don't come back. So because thousands and thousands and thousands of people have done similar, they are now more conscious and they are articulate with their scrutiny, But however, as a Nigerian, by the time you keep, and if you are also somebody making impact, you have a business, you're an influencer, you're a public speaker, you're an entrepreneur, it becomes way easier because then they can identify you to something. They'll say, okay, he's building something, right? And so it gets easier by the time you travel to a few countries. It's a very good strategy. So by the time you mix that with having like a very strong portfolio, whether it be you are an employer, like you have a business, or you're working for a very big company, that is a very good tie that I feel if you used to. But America can be crazy sometimes. You can have all of this, you just go there, they'll ask you 2 questions and say, sorry, you don't qualify.
Well, apparently, other places like Turkey can be crazy too. I mean, if they are denying you.
Yeah. So with Turkey one, I guess they did not look at my application. I can 100% say they didn't look at my application. They just probably carried the file and just say, no, they're not going to give it to me.
These limitations.
With what I submitted, I don't feel like you're going to look at my portfolio and be like, we're not going to give him visa.
You must have been shocked.
So it's a stereotype.
When you got the reply that what?
Yeah, I was because I was even going to, as I applied for the visa, I was even going to go and pay for my flight already, even without the visa coming out, because I'd be like, okay, the visa is going to be out on Monday. I'll travel on Wednesday. So when I saw it, I was like, oh, so you mean to tell me if I got to pay for flight now it's me and the airline that will be doing back and forth as to refund, right? So I was quite certain, but I knew like they're just stereotyping me. It's not because I'm a bad person or anything. It's just people have done bad things in Turkey as Nigerians. Yeah.
Okay. How do you decide where to go? You've been almost everywhere.